Hi, everybody. Hello, everybody, and welcome. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for coming by. It's a Sunday again, 2 more days to the mid-month.
Wow. Time went
And what do
so
we
fast.
I know. And we only got what, 10 days or so, 11 days, I don't know, till Thanksgiving. And boom, 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 boom. Crazy, crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Allie, what do
And
you do for Thanksgiving?
It's not my favorite holiday. My mother used to go bananas over it, and she used to make all the best foods. And for me, it just seems like you spend all your day making food, and everybody eats it in 10 minutes, and then you got to do all those dishes and stuff. So in recent years, I don't do too much. As a matter of fact, this year, my daughter's going to come down. We'll probably have some other type of food, and we're going to play some games. That's about it. How about you? What do you do?
Well, because that my household is multicultural, we don't
Right.
really do this too much either. Um, Although my daughter and son-in-law and granddaughters are going to be coming to my house, so
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah.
probably do more. I usually don't cook a turkey.
No.
Um,
No.
So
Okay.
I'll cook other food, and we're gonna play a lot of games, and
Yeah. Isn't
that's
it fun? I think it's fun to do that. Some people watch the football. I'm not into that. So I'd rather play board games and kind of just relax and
Mhm.
laugh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
We
nice. Your grandchildren are so sweet, honestly, that
oh,
you've got a
they
great connection with them. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Do you
So
make turkey for Christmas or do you not
no,
know?
no,
No.
it's not. It's so generally that's not doesn't fit in our cultural lifestyle very
I get it.
much.
No, I get it. Yeah.
It's hard to tell people that turkey doesn't smell good. It stinks, and so half of my household doesn't like it. So we're
Oh,
just
oh,
gonna go with prime
yep.
rib or something.
Yeah, there you go. We tend to on Christmas we tend to go with like lasagna and things like that. Yeah, yeah, because you can pre-make it. You put it in the oven. You don't have to worry about it. Yeah, it's a lot
That's a
less
great
problem.
idea.
Oh, Craig says his sister deep fries her turkey and he doesn't like that. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people doing that. Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say hello to a few folks. I'm going to let Terri tell you about what she's going to be doing at the noon hour Pacific, which is 3 o'clock Eastern. Go ahead, dear.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I am going to be on the Cron Zone at at 12 o'clock Pacific, 3 o'clock Eastern. And I'm just they're calling it Terry's Tales. So I'm just going to tell you tales of spiritual adventure, mostly involving animals and horses, mostly horses. So, and my
Yeah.
dad.
And your dad. That's awesome.
Mhm.
I did
Yeah.
not realize that we were going to be sort of against each other. I have a show at noon as well, but I've got a lady that I met this summer. Um, and she's going to do, she lives in New Hampshire. She's going to do a few animal readings. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
that's
So,
wonderful. So,
uh-huh.
so people have options. They can
They do have options.
get their pets
Mhm.
read, or
Yep.
they can hear about, I guess, the spiritual adventure, things that can happen on the other side with your pet, I
With
guess.
your pets. That's right.
Yeah,
Yep. So
yeah, that
Star
I think that's
Midnight,
cool.
it is cool. So Star Midnight, I have garlic bread. We make that. I also love green bean casserole, which is becoming very, very expensive because of the groceries. One can of onion rings, I think, is like $5, and then the mushroom soup and everything. I think it costs like more over $20 to make it. I remember making it for under
Wow.
five before. Yeah, but we have that. We like that. We only eat it at this time of the year, and then we have salad, things like that. So.
Mhm.
And Terri, do you ever have the Japanese food at all for these
Um,
holidays?
I generally I don't cook Japanese food at holidays, but I do often cook it. But um, usually I want a lot of people coming over. If I'm going to cook tempura, which is quite
Uh-huh.
time
Deep fried, yeah,
investment, I
yeah.
want to have a lot of people there and, just keep
Uh-huh. Oops,
putting
sorry.
out the tempura.
Uh-huh.
And, and if I'm going to do gyoza, I want to have a gyoza party where I have people over and we're all making gyoza with our hands, and
Wow. Now that's
um,
fine. And of course your granddaughters are growing up and they're going to want to have their fingers in making some stuff now too, I would imagine, as time goes on. Yeah.
yeah.
So let's see. Warrior Girl has Brussels sprouts with bacon instead of green bean casserole. That's cool. That's really cool. Oh, I didn't know this. Craig Dixon says that Anita told him a 20-pound turkey was $50.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And
I will make.
we have issues here, don't we, with the is it crab or something that's costing a lot here in the North Pacific Northwest?
Well, everything's costing a lot, but I think that
Yeah.
you can hardly get the crab. When I say I'm going to cook prime rib, I don't mean prime. You can't get your hands on prime rib at all. A rib roast is the most you can actually get your hands on, and I haven't looked yet. It might be too expensive. I might be cooking Japanese food,
You might.
which is going to involve chicken a lot. So, we'll
Oh
see.
my
We'll
goodness.
see.
Yeah. No, I went to get some supplies the other day, and I'm not complaining. I know that it's the corporations that are raising the prices. They're trying to make money. But I wanted to buy some vanilla, vanilla flavoring for things. And the small bottle was $4.99 and the big bottle was $8.99.
Wow.
I thought it used to be like 75 cents.
Right.
Yeah, just crazy. Yeah, that's for sure. So, Terri, we want to do some readings today, and we're going to we'd like to do some, I want to say quality and not quantity. And we'd be happy to take questions about spiritual topics. It's really great if we end up with a question that leads to another question that leads to another question. If people really want a reading from the other side, that's perfectly fine. We can fit you in, but we're just not going to take as many. And I know that you guys know this because you're here early, and it's later on that when people come in like on the half hour or whatever, they think we're still taking questions and we're not. So if you would put them into large print. Terri's trying to look over her computer. I'm sorry, for her phone. And so it's very, very small. And so go ahead and do that. That would be wonderful. Oh,
Yeah.
good.
We just want to slow down a little and kind of let the reading play out a little bit more. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to have readings that can be applicable to more than one person because
Right.
I know sometimes that even if someone asks a question, you can feel there's an answer there for you too. But
Yeah.
in this case, it'd be nice to have that. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
wonderful.
I noticed that when we slow down, then sometimes when I'm doing a reading, the angels may come in and do a healing. And of course, that healing's for everybody, not just the person you're
Sure.
reading. And it can be really interesting. And if things get slow, we'll do speed dating still. That's what I call what we do, speed dating, when it's like boom,
It
boom,
is.
boom.
It is. It's speed dating. It's like boom, boom. And sometimes those readings are also really good. It
Oh,
just depends. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. So yeah. All right. Yes, Ward, of course you can ask a question. Just put it in caps for me so we can see the question. That would be awesome. Yep. Anybody that wants to ask a question, please post and put it in caps, please. Um, thank you very much. So I had a wonderful time. I want to do a shout out to Kelly from Dozen Cats. I was supposed to go on her show yesterday. It was her 1 year channel anniversary. I was all excited about it. And she mentioned it was between 3 and 6. So I said, I'll come in the last hour because, you want to have somebody there that maybe. So I go to see how it's coming along and, to watch it. It's all over. And it had been
I
on over 3. Yeah.
yeah, I went on the last hour too. But the thing was, is I noticed that, yeah, that she kind of gave 2 time things. And so I decided to err on the side of caution and go to the first set that she had sent us. Or
Okay.
yeah, yeah. I got in just in time though.
Uh-huh. Wow. Okay, I got a Juno. I got wards. Yeah, I felt really, really badly about it because, I was planning on going at 5 o'clock, but Pacific time.
Yeah.
It was already
And it
all over.
would have been over. Yep. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was fun. Kelly, you and Kelly have a lot in common, and you two are by the hardest working people on YouTube.
Oh, you're so kind. You're so kind. Thank you. Yeah, I did feel very badly about not being there, but I'm glad everybody else did show up, and I apologize to her profusely for being such an old woman and not realizing what was going on and kind of checking out. Um, I had the show for the election this week on Tuesday, and then on Friday had the show with Linda G and Andre, and between the two shows, have gotten a lot of comments in emails um, critiquing me. And so I do the best I can. I just want to throw that out there. I do the best I can, as Terri does, as all of us do, to do the best job we can. And we don't get paid, really, to do this kind of work. We're not trained to do it. So I just want to say that I appreciate constructive criticism anytime I have to. I'm a teacher. I give constructive criticism. But keep in mind, we're just regular folks. That I'm not Baba Wawa, and Terri isn't Sylvia Brown. We're not making the big money.
Yeah,
So,
we're not.
yeah. So, but you know what? Everybody, thank you, Juno. I'm not saying it's all a lot of this. I mean, there are just people that decide that they're going to take it upon themselves to let me know what they think. And it's not always pleasant, but I know that everybody goes through it. I know Susan said she gets it. Linda gets it, and so it's all part of the job. But with this Pisces moon I have, just gets me after a while anyway. Armchair psychics. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Juno, you're right. And I know Terri knows this too. They have no idea how challenging it is to do a live show, keep track of the chats and the guests, and listen to their guides and angels. Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes. Yeah.
That is
And that's
so hard. And
yeah.
I'm so lucky that you're driving today, that you're going to do a lot of that, and I'm going to just answer. But it's a big challenge. And I'd say half of the challenge is overcoming the fear of looking stupid,
Right.
the fear
Yeah.
of not getting it right, because we're not always going to. I mean, no psychic or psychic medium is going to get it right 100% of the
No.
time. I always like to say spirit is right 100% of the time. My interpretation of spirit is not always right.
Thank you for saying that. That's what Susan said on her video too. She said, y'all, you aren't here. You don't know what it's like. And she said, and I agree, always have thought that your interpretation, it's like trying to interpret a dream. Right. Kate and I do the best we can, but we don't know your personal story. Yeah. So it's really, really hard.
That's why I describe as much as I can see, because it might mean something more to them than it does to me.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. And so
well, thank you, everybody. I wasn't looking for sympathy, but I just wanted everybody to know that, these are the things that happen, and we have to deal with them. And so, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
But you're right. You're right. Especially when we get some crazy stuff. I know you've said that before, like, and Jean has, somebody's showing me this, and it's some hilarious thing.
Oh, yeah. When you want to have fun with you, oh my goodness, you're just like, am I really seeing that?
I know.
So
and I love that. Yes, as we get older, it's hard to read the comments with bifocals and trifocals, etc. Terri had said that, not that exact thing, but yeah, But yeah, that's what we, yeah, I understand. Yeah, I understand. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, very good. Oh, Karen, you're right too. We also have free will and our choices can change the timeline. So what we're greeting is the energy of the day and not necessarily everything. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yep.
thanks everybody. I feel like I'm preaching to the choir here, and I'm not trying to do that because I have never gotten anything from any of you who are my normal, customary subscribers. You've all been nothing but supportive and loving. So thank you so much. Yep. All right. So we're going to go ahead and start. Star Midnight wonders if there's a message from her guardian angels or her guides.
Mhm. So I'm going to just blend in with her energy.
Okay. Take your time.
So Star Midnight, so on my stage at first, as I'm asking for messages for you, it's like I saw midnight. And sometimes they get very literal with me. And then the midnight became dawn. And I feel like this is significant that they're saying something's lifting for you. Something that has been weighing hard on you is lifting. And as the dawn appears, I'm seeing a big cliff on my stage, a huge stone cliff. And I'm seeing your higher self on the stage with like a hiker with like kind of hiking gear. And they're giving me kind of a knowing that you're smiling on this stage, which is a very good sign. It's like you feel good, but they feel good too. They feel like you had done some hard work spiritually, or maybe in body, that you are coming, the sun is rising, it's going to lighten up, but they are proud of the hard work that you've done, the really hard work. And they are drawing my attention to your feet. And your feet, you have red shoes on. Red, they're kind of making me pay attention to this red and a little bit of, it looks like they have little gold wings on them. So I do think that they're saying something about that you're going to get a little extra help here in your journey. They're very proud of you. They're very proud of this. Whatever you've just overcome, they're just amazed and proud that you've done this. And they're showing that you're just going to keep getting more and more help from them. So I hope that makes sense for you.
Wow, that's pretty interesting. So what I get is gather, and I'm just going to say gather up all of the things that you need in your toolbox, or gather up your friends, or gather up your strength. It could be all of those things. Look at the colors. I mean, just absolutely gorgeous. But gather with gentleness, it says. Be gentle with yourself. There's my deer there. Look at that, the spirit animal. Gather with gentleness under that full moon that we just had. And it says to me that you are walking away from sorrow, that it was down the path that you were at, but now you're walking forward and away from it, and that things are going to get better for you. So it's a little girl with some red boots, not white boots like Ron DeSantis had on, just some red ones. I love the red boots. And you had the red shoes. You mentioned the red shoes. And aren't the red shoes like the ruby slippers that Dorothy could click together and she had all the power? Isn't that true in The Wizard of Oz?
That would kind of
Yeah.
be I
Yeah.
mean, they weren't ruby slippers per se,
Right.
but they were
Uh-huh.
definitely red. They had those little gold wings on them, like the
Uh-huh.
Nike.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
maybe,
Ooh.
maybe who knows? Maybe it's just do it.
Maybe it is. You know, when I was a kid, I don't know if you remember PF Flyers sneakers. They were called PF Flyers. And we really believed as kids that we could fly with them. And I think
Wow.
that that what they were trying to say is that, the grip is good and you can run with them well, feeling like you're going to fly. But I remember thinking how magical they were. So thank you very much. Star Midnight says, it's been very challenging and glad to know it's getting better. We send you lots of love, Star Midnight. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Thank you for your question, dear. All right. I'm going to go. That's a question for in a while. Let's see. We have a question from Ward Vanderplas, and I'm guessing this is a person. He wonders if we know anything about kitsune. Is that a
Kitsune,
person?
kitsune,
Kitsune? Oh, maybe it's
kitsune.
not. Kitsune.
Well, kitsune is a food in Japanese.
Oh, okay.
Kitsune ramen. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Kitsune has a lot. The word kind of comes from about foxes. It's about the origin of the word. It's kind of about foxes.
Oh, okay.
Um, if
Hmm.
what if you could tell me if you're talking about the food or something else, that would
Yeah,
that would
Ward.
help.
Okay.
Yeah,
Ward, is this the Japanese food or is this a person? The fox, he says. The
the
fox.
fox.
Yep. Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
okay. I thought it was the fox. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so let me just tune in a little bit because there are temples in Japan completely dedicated to kitsune, to the fox. Um, and I've been to them. So let me just tune in
Oh,
a little
wow.
and see what I can get.
Cool.
So kitsune, um, I believe kitsune represents a female deity. And there are not as many kitsune temples as the others. But kitsune, what what information do we need to know today that you can provide? So kitsune is saying, I'm kind of down at the kid, if I were a fox, I'd be a lot lower and I'm kind of seeing the ground and walking in. Kitsune is saying, um, there's so much more going on around you than you know. There's so many more elementals. If you could get down at my level, you would be able to see them a lot better. She's saying, so she's particularly saying that I am going to give you guys a gift, and the gift is going to be of sight and awareness. So I believe that Kitsune is saying is that basically whoever's hearing this and may hear it later, that she's going to fine tune your spiritual sight a little bit so that you can see a little bit better. You can see a little bit better in the dark. You can see a little bit better, see the little things going on around you. And you can claim this if you don't want it, you don't have to take it, but you can also just say, I claim this for myself. And she also wants to impart to us a lightheartedness a little bit. Foxes are fun. They like to have fun. They like to run around. They play with their children. They are a fun animal, and so they do. She does want to say, please have fun. And I see her kind of going out into the sunset and kind of disappearing. She's very humble. She's kind of like I'm a very minor deity, but still I can give a tiny gift. So
Wow. The minute you said it was the fox, Ward, I got, this is your spirit animal. It's interesting that it's a Japanese fox, because there is a difference, right? I mean, we have the red fox and we have the other kinds of fox. I love them. They have that quality of being sly and cunning, and yet at the same time, they're just, little faces are so adorable. There was a woman I was following on Instagram who had a batch of baby foxes born outside of her house in England, and they still come around. She didn't touch them, but she left food for them or water for them, and they still come around and grace her with their beauty. So I got here, there's a merry motive for you to ask the question, that you can go out into the forest and see those elementals that Terri was talking about. Absolutely. You will have the gift of sight or the gift of cognition in seeing them. And a burst of magic will come from it for you. It could be that you are more of a green man or a man that enjoys the elements and so on. And that this is awakening some genius for you. So
wow.
I think that's wonderful. And I'm glad we could facilitate a discussion on that particular topic, because I've learned something new. I had no idea there was different types of foxes in Japan. So that's really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Kitsune is a whole deity, a whole temple to itself.
Okay. So yes, Juna says kitsune are foxes that possess paranormal abilities that increase as they get older and wiser. All foxes have the ability to shapeshift into human form. Wow. That's fascinating. Wow. I love that. Huh. Thank you. And thank you for bringing that, Juno. And thank you, Ward, for bringing the question. I learned something, and I love learning. I love learning things. So, all right. And everybody here is talking about Woolworth's restaurant that you sat up at the bar and in the middle of the restaurant that they had. I had an experience where my dad would take me there once a week. We would go there for whatever, lunch or dinner, and he had hypoglycemia. And one day he's sitting next to me on the stool up at the lunch counter at Woolworths, and he falls over on the ground. He had passed out from, so everybody, I'm there with him, and everybody's oohing and ahhing. They call an ambulance, but he had low blood sugar. That's what happened. And so he just basically passed out. Scary. All right. Juno says her friend is moving here to Arizona, and her cat just passed away last week. I'm sorry, Juno. That's a hard thing to do. She cleaned his litter box today, and there was an Arizona commemorative quarter in the litter box. How did it get there? Wow.
Well, it did get there through human means. Somebody dropped it, but it was through the cat's spirit that caused this to happen. Okay. So there is a spiritual origin to something that happened in real time. So let's see. What?
Okay.
Oh, I just get this strong, strong feeling that just the cat is trying to give you assurance that you're doing the right thing, moving to Arizona, that this is
Moving,
this.
yeah, her friend is doing the right thing. Juno said, "Did the cat make the change? Make change." I love that because I'm just getting the impression that the cat didn't want to make the journey and said, although that I'm staying behind, basically,
Mhm.
that this is where you're destined to go. But I may be wrong. I don't know.
Mm. I
Yeah,
just think that the cat is just reinforcing to you that you're making a good decision,
right,
that it's
right.
okay,
Hmm.
that
Yep.
they're with you in spirit. Just because you move away doesn't mean this cat is going to not be in contact with you spiritually. The cat can find you anywhere.
Yep.
Um,
Wow.
and this cat has a high spiritual connection to you. I often see that some animals are just our
Is it
companions.
to her or her friend that's moving there? I mean, her friend is the one that lost the cat.
The
Yeah,
friend
yeah.
is
To
not,
the friend. Okay. Yep.
and it's but some of these animals are not just, some are our spiritual companions, and I believe this one is more like a spiritual companion to be able to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be interesting that she will have another one. I believe she'll have another one show up once she gets to Arizona, and it could be that cat again. Who knows? But
Hmm.
wow, I love that. I love that because um, to me it just affirms that I know where you're going. I know what you're going to be doing. I'll know where to find you. I
Yeah.
love that. It's awesome. Yeah,
Wow, that is so
it
cool.
is, Juno. I'm happy for you. Okay, so Karen Johnson wonders if we have a message from her angel guides. Hmm.
So they're showing me this little like gnome house on my stage. It's like taking up the whole stage. It's like a little gnome house. It looks very, you know, something you'd find in the forest, and um, it's so cute. And um, and so I asked, like, why are you showing me this gnome house? Why? I mean, I've never really seen one of these before, and so they're kind of taking me on a circuitous route to say that they are gnomes, spiritual beings, magic is afoot, and they're saying we put this on her stage for you to tell her because she doesn't believe. She doesn't quite believe it. And what they mean by that is not that you can't believe it or anything, but that just like the rest of us, you see magical things sometimes or are experiencing spiritual magical things and you doubt it. I mean, I do too sometimes, I'm
Yeah.
like, why
Yep.
is there a gnome house on my stage? Um, and they're saying that it's real,
Mhm.
and you are part of all this. And let me take this up a notch to find out a little bit more about this. So, angels, what do you want her to know? What what is They may have done something or given you something or made you realize something, but all I keep getting from them, even the angel part, is yes, it's real. It's real. That's what all they keep saying.
Mm,
So I
mm.
hope that makes sense to you.
Wow. Okay. So the first card I pulled was speaking the truth or your truth. Let me see. Just speaking truth. But look at this, how interesting it is. The bird sort of looks like it's flying out of the mouth of the person.
Wow.
But it's reminding you always to speak your truth and not to be afraid to do that. And I think that it took me to be an older woman in order to really feel comfortable. It makes sense? Okay. All right. Night vision. Woo, woo, woo. Yes, you have night vision. Um, you can see things and they come to you in the night and you are able to see them, and have been crowned with that ability. And the last one I got is, this may be very specific to you, but it says that you have the ability to be a finder of lost things.
Wow.
Ah, I know it. I've never pulled this card before, Karen. I don't even remember seeing it. And of course, I love elephants. The trunk is up, which is good luck. But you can be a finder of lost things, or you are a very good finder of them. So maybe you work on that. I know it's cool. We've had that happen in our Thursday group before in the past, where we've had people ask where can they find such and such. I know, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You got it, girl. You got it. And maybe that's what the gnomes want you to gnome.
Yeah. And the angel still said what the gnome said. Yes, it's so I don't know. Whatever has happened to you, or you're like, did I really see that? They're saying, yes, it's true.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And also to speak your truth. Don't be afraid that what you're seeing isn't what's real. It is, or it's real to, you've
Yeah.
seen it. You've seen it. Yeah. Awesome. Let us know how that goes, Karen. All right. Hypnicity says that since her discovery that she's a light worker, she's been pretty exhausted. Well, honey, it is an exhausting thing. Messages from your guides. Yeah. Yeah. We do have a very exhausting, uh, what is it? I can't even think of the word. We have a mission. I guess the word is a mission. We have an exhausting mission to help other people, and it does suck us up and pull at us. Yeah.
So, hypnicity, I am seeing you on my stage on a bed. You're laying across my stage in the air. You're floating on like what looks like a bed of clouds. How can you tell me more about this bed of clouds? And they are acknowledging that as a light worker, you're of course working in the day, but you are also working at night. Because when you're sleeping, you're kind of going back and getting more information, you're doing work over there too. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they're acknowledging that they are overworking you just a tiny bit.
Mm-hmm.
So they are bringing my attention to a new gift that I got. On a journey with my good friend Jean, we went on a journey, and I was given a bag of happiness. It's a bag of just, it looks like starlight. It looks like little stars. And they are encouraging me to kind of dip my hand in and kind of sprinkle it over you, kind of sprinkle it over. Okay, so I've sprinkled her. And this is something that will kind of come into you over time to help lighten your load a little, make things a little funner. You are very important. What you're doing is very important as a light worker. I see your dad in the background. I've seen him before.
Mm-hmm.
Um, let's see if he has what he's going to do, or what message he has. He's just reminded me when I saw him before. I saw him following you with his hand across your shoulders, kind of, it's on your right shoulder, and he's just with you. He's just helping you. He's just assisting you and giving you more energy. It's just help from the other side. He's very proud of you, and I see that he's still there. Yeah. So he's still around you. He's still providing strength.
Wow. She said also her first husband is also talking to her a lot. And so, yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Uh-huh. Yep.
Wow.
Oh, he was from Switzerland and she was the baby. That's what she said. So that's why her dad. So hypnicity, first of all, I want to tell you that I haven't slept well all week. And I think it's the anticipation of the election and also 11/11 and the portal and all of that. Even after I got through that, I hadn't been able to sleep. And all day yesterday, I could do nothing but lay down and rest. I don't know what the problem was, but I just had to honor it and rejuvenate it and make it feel better. You are being divinely guided. You also are protected and are being asked to call upon your angels to help you as well. So if you're feeling tired, if you're feeling, washed out, so to speak, you've got your father there, you've got your first husband there, but you also can call upon your angels and they can help you out. Yes, Jess, you can ask a question, which I'm taking one more. There's things that are hidden as well. Hidden enemies or jealousy or whatever, I don't know, but it says to work in silence. So work in silence. Don't let anybody else, step in and give you any bother. But you're doing some deep shadow work and there's magic going on and you have been learning really hard lessons. And so I think that anytime we're doing that work with shadow work or we're working to integrate parts of that into ourselves and heal from it, we are exhausted. And you have been doing shadow work. That's why you're tired, honey. It's exhausting. It is. And you're doing it not only as you go, in your awareness, but also subconsciously when you're asleep, if you are, or that you're worn out. Yeah. Make sure you protect yourself. Yep. Yep. And Juno says, yeah, we're all kind of feeling that stress over the election and what will happen and so on. So I can't even imagine what Nancy Pelosi's going through with the addition of her husband being, targeted. So anyway, darling, give it some more time. Give it over to the angels and your guides to help you. And congratulations that you're working on shadow work, because that's a hard road, but you need to do it. We all need to do it.
And you get a lot of support.
That's right. So Ward asked another question, and I'm going to allow it because I think it's something that's general, and it's a really important question, which is a spirit animal of a person always the same, or can it change? And the first thing I'm going to say is, I think we have more than one. We have some. It's like our guides. We have one for this. We have one for that. But I'll let Terri do her thing here.
I would agree with what Allie just said, that they can change. They can do more than we give them credit for. So, like, one of my actual spirit guides is actually a sea turtle, and she's not a spirit animal. She is a spirit guide, and she doesn't speak to me, but she helps. She somehow gets it across what she wants me to do, or what she needs. If she takes me on a journey, where to go, how to follow her. I after I took my rocks and feathers class with Danny Shea and Kim Copeland, uh, my stage changed where it had a little cave area, and people were getting spirit animals right and left out of the cave. Um, they would just show up as needed. So I do believe that you're given them, and I
Hmm.
do believe they can change or get added to from time to time, depending on your needs. Um,
Hmm.
I also want to let people know that your spirit animals aren't always, I made the mistake of thinking they always had to be um, fierce, that their
Hmm.
fierceness protected you or whatever. And they made fun of me for so long, so long. Like I was reading a friend and
Hmm.
she was getting a spirit animal, and I was looking, and they were kind of instructing me to get close to the stage to see it. And it was a spider, and it jumped out on the stage, and he's like looking around, and he's like, "Was that scary enough for you?" And I'm like, "Oh yes, you're a spider. Plenty scary."
Yes.
And
Yes.
they're
Wow.
so funny. They have such senses of humor sometimes, and
They do.
they ribbed me forever, forever. They were just like, "Was that scary for you?" And because I had thought
That
they
is
all would
funny.
be scary. They don't. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. They have a
yeah.
very definite sense of humor. That's wonderful. I
Mhm.
have two that I know of, and of course, the deer has been there from the time I was about 3 or 4 years old. It's always
Mhm.
been a companion for me. And the other one was I had a shaman tell me that I have a griffin who is protects me very well. And a griffin is like a mythical animal, so it could be not even an animal that really ever existed or exists. But this griffin is, and it's the one with the wings. It looks like a lion, but it has wings, and it sits on the tops of old buildings, and it just sort of watches over. And I tell you, when I knew that, I felt very emboldened at the time. I was going through some really tough times, and I felt
Mhm.
like I had this animal watching out for me, and it just really made me happy. So
Mhm.
yeah, yep,
So,
absolutely.
so my friend who got the spider spirit animal felt really bad because she's like, I can't kill the spiders anymore.
Yes, yeah,
And he,
yeah, yeah. It
yeah,
reminds
and
me of. Go ahead, Terry.
I was going to say he was very fun because he stayed for the whole reading, and she
Hmm.
wanted to see a past life, and he facilitated that with his legs. He decorated all 8 legs in different ways,
Oh
and then I had to
wow,
describe them, and then she chose one, and we went to that life. And
I
so
love that.
they can be really cool.
Yeah,
They can just be hanging around, but it's a lot of they can be a lot of fun. And
yeah.
I will never think they have to be fierce ever again. So they don't
Ever
have to
again.
scream anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And even my griffin, who can be fierce, doesn't bother me because he's fierce for me and not
Right.
against me. So,
Yeah.
if you ever seen that movie 7 Years in Tibet with Brad Pitt many years ago, the Buddhists won't kill ants, so they sweep them away. But the
Mhm.
problem is they were trying to build a building. And you can't the ants just kept on coming, but they weren't supposed to kill any of them. So it
Oh.
was it was interesting to watch how to deflect that against a
Mhm.
living creature that they didn't want to bother. So
Wow.
okay, Warrior Girl, a message from Spirit on the upcoming week that she has. Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to be guided this week in how that you're going to react and go forth in this week. What they're showing me on the stage is the stage, and it's got like clouds at the bottom this time. It's all clouds this time for some reason. So you're walking on the clouds, and I see that your feet, there's like a tiny angel on each foot, and they're like picking up your foot and placing it ahead, and then one on the other side, picking it up and placing it ahead. And then I looked up and I saw that on your forehead, they've put like a band, and the band, it looks like a pharaoh's thing. It has like a snake, like a headband with a snake on it. And that doesn't mean anything evil, but it means that you're going to go forth this week. I feel like you have some sort of message to deliver, possibly at your work, that may be hard for you to do. And so they're going to guide your thoughts. They're going to guide your feet. They're going to guide. I believe that this headdress that they're showing me is very powerful, and it's going to allow your third eye to see deeper into the situation so that you don't get into trouble. It may be that you're kind of getting a snake as a spirit guide right now too, because I see that that I see its little tongue going out, and I'm like, well, that would scare me a little. Yeah. If I saw you coming like that, I might be much more willing to listen. Yeah, so there's guidance for you this week to do something difficult. I don't know what the difficult thing is, but there's guidance on your feet, guidance on your head. So,
wow. And wait till you see what I got. And I verified it, sort of. First of all, have faith. Everything's going to work out fine. Look at it. Even though you may not see what's right in front of you, you have a way of knowing. Like this particular woman is holding a flower, and she knows it's a flower because she can smell it, even though she can't see it. So have some faith, warrior girl, in your process. But look at this. This is what Terri just said. You have the ability for crystal vision this week. Wow. And that would be, your third eye or your crown. And so be open to it. Be on the lookout for it. It looks like with the eye, because it's there for you, even if you don't realize it's there. And it's going to bring you much joy. I get joy as the last card. So, yeah, looks like it might be kind of nice, kind of a nice week.
Yeah,
very
definitely
good.
A guided week. They care a lot about you and care to place your feet carefully in.
Yep, that's right. I know that my friend says sometimes when she's tired, she says, I have one foot in front of the other. And that's what I got when you said that about the angels. The angels are helping you put one foot in front of the other. And that's where the faith comes in as well. So excellent. Jess has a great question here. How can she take skills to the next level where she talks directly to her guides?
So are you saying she wants to talk directly to her guides?
It looks like it. Yeah, okay. She wants to know how to take her skills to be able to talk directly herself to her guides. Yep.
Well, that definitely will take you to the next level. But let me tune in just a little and see what's going on. That definitely would be a way to take it to the next level. And, it's very easy and it's very hard at the very same time, because it's really about our faith too. They're showing me you walking around your house, and they want you to talk out loud to your guides. Hopefully when nobody else is around, so they don't think you're crazy. But that start with first just talking out loud to them, and finding a quiet space once in a while to be quiet, to maybe hear them back. But they're also they're reminding me. So my guides don't talk to me as openly as, let's say, Susan Lynn's guides, where she's like hearing them in real time. What they do for me instead is they nudge me. They nudge me, go this way instead of that way, cook this instead of that. They just nudge me towards things, or they put thoughts, ideas in my head. I think sometimes people call these downloads, but I just call them ideas. They put me ideas in my head. And then as I focus on them, then they may give me more information about them. They are also instructing me to let you know that names don't matter that much. So as you get to know the guides, as sometimes they'll give you names, sometimes they won't. It doesn't really matter. I know the spirit, the essence of them. So I don't really need a name, but they said if you really, really need a name, you can even make up a name for them, as long as you use the same name. But yeah, so they're saying, yes, please do that. Please take a little time to be calm and quiet. And they may not talk to you at that time, but it gives you time to decompress a little bit, to know. And I know for me, a lot of people, I always thought that if you were meditating, you had to have nothing in your head for like a half an hour or something, and which is impossible for me. And I have slowly, I used guided meditations at first to try to do that. And then really what I found was all they want me to do is to be quiet, to stop talking inside for about 3 to 5 minutes.
Right.
And then a lot of times they come by and they take me on this journey. And it was hard at first not to throw the journey out, like I'm supposed to not think of anything. Stop it, and realizing that is exactly why you're there. It's not, you're not supposed to be empty for a half an hour.
Or judging what's coming. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So just be aware that they just want you to be quiet for a little while and they will take over.
So yes, I got the word trust in my mind, and actually Jans Free was saying it was that one foot in front of the other, which was another reading, but that's faith. So I think trust and faith is applicable in here as well. But I also pulled a card that said that forgiveness will set you free. What do you need to forgive yourself for? And it may be as simple as not listening to messages that have come through in the past. And for me, I have to listen. Sometimes it's the music. Sometimes something will happen. And I know I drop things all the time. And sometimes I realize that I have thought to myself, I hope I don't drop this. And I drop it. So it's the words in your mind as well that are reminding you not to be, positioned to think about that. But it does take a while. And that's where it is. And I agree with you, Terri, that it's okay if you hear something in your head when you're meditating, because you're giving them the opportunity to come in and say something. So, talk to them and trust them. Yeah, it's going to take a while. I know other people have asked this question before, including Craig, who here says he now talks to people in public, which that's wonderful, Craig. I love it. But we all feel like we all don't hear it the same way. Like Terri said, Susan Lynn, she can hear it in real time. And for me, I hear it whenever the ability comes through, or I have the opportunity to take time for it. And so it does accelerate as long as you're feeling that you're getting something. And don't doubt that just because you hear your own voice in your head, that it isn't something else.
Right.
Because, you know.
My brother, I just feel a little prompted to say this. So my brother had been injured on the job, and it really like knocked the life right out of him. He couldn't work anymore. He still can't work anymore. But then I introduced him to a concept, and he suddenly like, I'm alive again. And he's like all over. And so he's all spiritual now, which is
Really?
so cool. So cool.
It
I have
is.
somebody
Yeah.
to talk to. And
Yeah.
he said, Terry, this is what I figured out. He said, our conscience is our spirit guides.
Sure.
And all the time they said, listen to your conscience, you're just really listening to your spirit guide. And he said, now I
Wow.
know. All the time they said, Timmy, don't tell that joke. Don't tell that. And of course I told it because I'm an ass, he said. And of course it didn't go well.
Right.
Um,
Right.
and now he also, spirit guide wise, he hears my grandfather talk to him.
Wow.
And that's really cool. So it,
Mm-hmm.
even if you're thinking, I'm just listening to my conscience, that's just me. That's those spirit guides.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're there to help you and to remind you if you allow them to. But yeah.
Right.
But yeah, as far as forgiveness, we all could forgive ourselves and or somebody else. And because if we hold any burden of being upset or angry, we're only hurting ourselves, including anger at ourselves for doing something stupid. So your brother hopefully released that idea, knowing that he
Yeah.
just didn't know all the rules at the time.
Well, he still might do it, but now he knows they're right.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, that's right. Because we have patterns that are very, very difficult to change if we've been doing them for any amount of time. So it does take time to make those changes too. So
yeah.
wonderful, wonderful questions today. Thank you so much. Thank you, Terri. Don't forget she's going to be on the Crone Zone at 12 o'clock today, 3 o'clock Eastern time. And I like this, Juno. We hold our shoulds in our shoulders, and that's why our necks and shoulders hurt so much. And I agree.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm going to think about that a lot, Juno. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly. Thank you so much. Everybody have a great week ahead. Thank you all for being here. You're all sweet and loving, and I love you all. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Terri.
Remember, Allie has a show at the same time. So if you need a message from your animal, go to her show. If you just want to hear about spiritual things that animals have done in my past, go to my show.
That's right. Or watch on the repeat, one or the
Yeah.
other. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend.